Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Do you have to close the door so that you don't have to get in? So, did you notice I posted the review sheet on Brightspace? Get down. If you did not notice that, let me show you how to find it. So when you go to Brightspace, go to content, and the content on the left panel. You see exam reviews and exam solution. Click there, and then you see the review sheet. One is PDF format, one is document format, whatever is easier for you to use, you can use that. To view that file, you have to click on the name, and then it will take you to our review sheet. And if you want to see full screen, you can just click on 4 arrows. Or if you want to download, you can download here. And here, there is no solution, there is no answer, because all these questions are from our review, from our lecture notes. So most of the questions I went to in class, to see the solution, click on the link, and then it will take you to our class page. And if you notice, all those videos are posted with the section name. So lecture 1, section 3.2, lecture 2, section that. So whatever section you need help with, you just go to that section in the video page, and then you will see the solution. So here I says there will be at least one question in the exam from all the question number here. So we have 15 questions. Within the 15 questions, there are multiple parts. So expect to see 15 questions in the exam, at least 15 questions. So definitely you'll see one of these where you're going to plot the line, but first you have to find the slope, x and y intercept, then find the slope from given 2 points. The second line problem, definitely you'll see from line how to find the equation. And then here, find the equation of the line that goes to 2 points. So probably question number 5 and question number 2 will be combined to one problem. So in part A, also find the slope. In part B, also find the equation of the line. And then 1 point and slope is given, find the equation, definitely you'll see. And then find the slope and the equation of the line parallel or perpendicular to some given line. Definitely you're going to see that. Question number 7. Question number 8, you're going to see at least 8 of them, 8 to 6 of them with multiple parts. For example, I'm going to ask you the question like A. Find first of all, I'm going to tell you, find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the x-axis goes to that. So first, draw your outline, whatever you are visualizing, draw that so that I can see what like you did that, you didn't just copy from your neighbors. And then you're going to find the equation, and then you're going to find the slope. So for one question, 3 parts. Draw the graph, how you find out what's the equation and what's the slope, and then what's the equation and what's the slope. So I'm going to give you at least 6 to 8 of them. So probably 8. 8 times 3, 24. 24 points will come from question number 8. It's very important. Now the highlighted one, I said I'm not going to put this in this exam, but there is a chance you may see them in the final exam. So you can omit this ABC for this exam, but make sure to remember them before final. Now from 3.6, remember I said I'm going to give you a few of them for you to enjoy the exam. Use the vertical line test. And then there will be a few, question number 10, where you're going to write down whether they're function or not and why. So 2 points for each part. And if I give you 3 questions, so it will be 6 points. Definitely one from question number 11, and most likely expect to see fraction. Domain and range, definitely 2 or 3. And for 13, you're going to see all of them. I'm going to give you all of these and ask you what's the domain, only the domain. So remember, we went over domain 1 class ago, and we had 3 types of function. Based on 3 types of function, we have 3 types, either no problem or just we have some problem. So based on your problem, you just start with your condition. What is your condition to find the domain? And then today we're going to do 4.1 to 3. We are going to learn how to solve system equations. We are going to learn 3 methods: graphing, substitution, elimination. So I'm going to give at least 2 from here. One will have unique solution, and one will have either no solution or infinite solution. So 2 questions from chapter 14. And if we have time, then I'm going to go over 4.5 before the exam, and you'll see at least 1 of these in the exam. However, we have a bad schedule. This week, we don't have class on Thursday. Next week, we don't have class on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so that means we have only today and Friday this week. So definitely we're going to finish 1, 2, 3 today. And Friday, we'll see how much we can cover. And if we see that we are not ready for 4.5, I'm going to put that in the next exam instead of this exam. Okay, so I told you what will be in the exam. Now all you have to do is study them. Any question? Any comments? Concern? Complain? Remember, chapter 3 homework due tonight midnight. All the sections and all the homework and all the quizzes. And for next week, Tuesday, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4.1, 2, 3 homework. 4.5, I'm going to skip, and I'm going to give you more time to work on it because these are word problems. Okay, now let's start with our solving system of equations. Oh, and if you don't know where the lecture videos are, either you can click here, or you can go to our main page under content. And you see it says class playlist. All you have to do is there, and then you'll see the playlist. Also, there is a group chat. So I had many students join the group chat. So if you join, you can have conversation with your friends this class and from my other class. You can do homework together. You go anytime you don't understand any question, you can post there, and then someone will help you from the group, I guess. Okay. So it's a good idea to join this group. It's a WhatsApp group. So if you like, please join. It will make your math life more fun. And if you don't know how to join, or if you have problem joining, then contact Lady. She's in my second class. She'll help you. Okay, now solving system of equations. Like I said before, there are 3 methods. One is graphing, one is substitution, and one is elimination. We're going to start with graphing. Even the graphing method is not the most reliable one, but you should at least know how to do graphing method. In graphing method, all you're going to do is graph the 2 lines on the same plane. So how you're going to graph, it's up to you. You can use slope and y-intercept, or you can use x and y-intercept. Whatever method is you feel comfortable with, graph using those methods, and then see where the 2 lines intersect. So solution is a point. You need both x value and y value. So we have one standard form and one in slope intercept form. So I'm going to refresh your memory with both methods. So first method, standard form. We have negative 6x minus y equals negative 4. So if you have to find x-intercept, who remembers what do you do to find the x-intercept of an equation? Good job. We are going to set y equals 0 and then solve for x. So we have negative 6x minus y equals negative 4. When we set y 0, this entire thing get vanished, and we left with negative 6x equals negative 4. And then to solve for x, we need to divide both sides by negative 6. So we get x equals, the negative cancel out. And can you reduce 4 and 6? By what? By 2. So we divide both of them by 2. We get 2/3. Now, 2/3 is a fraction, right? Do you have any idea in decimal what that would be? If you divide one piece into 3 pieces, how much is 2 of them? How much is 1/3? 0.3. And then the 2/3 will be 0.6. So a little bit more than 0.5. So it's 0.6666. 2/3. So 2 parts in 3 parts. And then y-intercept. To find y-intercept, what do you do? x0. Set x to be 0 and solve for y. So we have again negative 6x minus y equals negative 4. x0 means entire x term get vanished. So we get negative y equals negative 4. Divide by negative 1, y is 4. So this is for our equation 1. Then we have equation 2. So in equation 2, we have 1/2 y equals negative 3x plus 2. I'm writing the negative 3x first because we want the format to be y equals mx plus b. That's the correct way of writing. Here, they did not write the correct method. And then if you observe, we actually want only y on the left side. Oops. Only y on the left side. But they have half of y. We don't want this 2 on the denominator. How can you get rid of the 2 from the denominator? Multiply everything by 2. So multiply this by 2, this by 2, and this by 2. So the 2 cancel out. We have y equals negative 6x plus 4. So this is our slope, negative 6. But we want slope as a fraction if you want to use slope and y-intercept to graph. So how can we write negative 6 as a fraction? Negative 6 over invisible 1 becomes visible. And we have 4 as our y-intercept. So let's do the graphing. For equation 1, we have x-intercept 0.6. So 0.6 is somewhere here, since this is 1. Can I make it bigger? Okay. So 0.6 will be somewhere here. Come on. Which is a little bit more than 0.5. And our y-intercept is 4. So this is 4. That gives us our first line. And how come my ruler is not working? Yeah. See, if you don't have ruler, so you'll be in trouble. So you're going to draw the line. Definitely it's not straight. But you want to draw it as straight as possible. And then slope for second equation. It's negative 6. I need more space. Come on. -6/1. Do you remember if the top is positive, top is negative, which direction you have to go? Down. So you're going to go down 6 units from the y-intercept. And then from that position, which direction you have to go? Right 1 unit. So you start with your y-intercept, which is 4. So y-intercept is here, 4. And then you're going to go down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then right 1. See, this is not the most reliable method. It looks like our solution is here. It looks like it, okay? This is our solution because both line is intersecting here. But we can't be sure. Why not? Because look at my graph. It's so messy, right? So instead of graphing, there is a trick you can do. Solve for y in both of them and observe, do you see anything in there? So we already solved for y in the second equation. Let's solve for y in the first equation and see what happens. If we try to solve for y in the first equation, we have -6x minus y equals -4. To get the y alone, we need to add 6x to both sides. So we get -y equals 6x minus 4. And then you need to divide everything by -1 or multiply. You get y equals -6x plus 4. This is our equation 1. And look at our equation 2. Once we solve for y in equation 2, we have y equals -6x plus 4. What do you see? They're the same. So definitely my graph was a bad idea. We don't have one solution. If you have two same line, how many solutions you have? Infinitely many solutions. So answer or solution, you write infinitely many solution or infinite solution. Infinite solution. So see, that's what I said. Graphing method is the worst method. It's not the reliable one, especially if you don't have a ruler. So in the exam, if you see something like that, one is in standard form and one is in slope intercept form, it's better to convert both of them to slope intercept form just to check whether you have infinite solution or no solution. You're going to get no solution if you have that same slope but different y-intercept. It means two lines are parallel. Remember, parallel lines have same slope. So if you have same slope, but your y-intercept are different, it means no solution. But if you have same slope, same y-intercept, it's infinite solution. So in the final exam, you will have one of these at least one question from infinite and no solution. There'll be two questions in the final exam. One has unique solution, means you have to solve it, and you're going to get one x value, one y value. And the other one will have either no solution or infinite solution. So that's why when you see this question, solve for y first to check whether you have no solution or infinite solution. And if you see they are completely different from one another, then you use substitution or elimination method to solve. But if you see this scenario, either the same line, means same slope, same y-intercept, means infinite solution, but same slope with different y-intercept means no solution. So let me actually write this down here. Insert blank page. Break to apply during exam. Solve for y in both equations. If you get same slope and same y-intercept, the answer is infinite solution. Same slope, but different y-intercept. The answer is no solution. Okay. So for y, if you have same slope, same y-intercept, means you have the same line. So our solution is infinite. But if you have same slope with different y-intercept, means they have parallel lines, so they will never intersect. So there is no solution. Clear? Any question? Okay. Then would you like to try this one by yourself? Go ahead. Apply this method and see what type of solution you get. Oh, let me take that thing. Sorry for that. Alexander, Anna, Anna Pamias, Anastasia, Axel, Eileen, Eileen Mendez, Brenda, Christopher, George, Hannah, Hannah CSEAY, Hannah, Hodel, Jaslyn, Jesus, Jody, Jody U, or U? Kevin, Christina, Lily, Liz Mary, Michaela, Marlinda, Narelle, Natasha, Patton, Phil, Renan, Sarah, Shawaiz, Yusuf. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 options. Who is ready? Volunteer? Yusuf? Okay. Solve for y. That's the easiest method. We have 2x plus y equals 7. What did you do? Subtracted 2x, and we get y equals. Good. And then from here, divide by 2, and you get y equals negative 2x. And what's the y-intercept here? No, you don't see anything, so it's 0. And then when you compare this with this, do you have the same slope? And if you compare the y-intercept with y-intercept, do you have the same y-intercept? So what is our solution? No solution. See, simple. You don't need any math. You don't have to waste your time. Just solve for y. Any question on this? Okay, so we don't have to graph it because you already know they're the parallel lines, so we're not going to get any solution. The next method is called substitution method. And I already told you in our last class. You didn't have to write down all of them. I'm going to go over all of them one by one. So in substitution method, what we do is we solve for one variable first if it's not already solved for us. If it's already given y equals something or x equals something, then you are done. All you have to do is replace that x equals something or y equals something into another equation so that at least one equation has everything in one variable. Once you have only one variable equation, then solve for the variable. So get the variable alone on one side and everything else to the other side. You get one solution, one other point, either x or the y. So once you have one variable, you substitute it back into other equation, and then you get the other variable. For example, something like this. We have 3x minus 2y equals 7. So it's in standard form. And the other one says x equals y plus 3. So it's neither in standard nor in slope-intercept form. It's just a something form. But we already see that our x is already alone here. And the x is same as y plus 3. So what you're going to do, we are going to replace this x with this y plus 3. So this is our first substitution. We have 3x minus 2y equals 7. But instead of writing x, we are going to replace this x with y plus 3. Y plus 3. Anytime you substitute anything, don't forget to put parentheses if you're multiplying with something. So we have 3 in the front, minus 2y on the right side equals 7. So now this equation has only one variable y. So step 1, we distribute because multiplication always comes first. So we have 3y plus 9 minus 2y equals 7. Do we have any like term here to combine? 3y minus 2y. How many y's you get? just 1y. So y plus 9 equals 7. Subtract 9. And we are done with the y. How much is the y? -2. So we do have unique solution, means the two lines, they're going to intersect at one point. So at that point, we have an x value and y value. So we need to find both points, both parts. We found only y. Now it's time to find x. So we go to this equation and get the help of the second equation. In the second equation, we have x equals y plus 3. And do you already know what is our y? -2. So we just have to replace y with -2. And we see it's 1. So the solution we have here, we write as a point format, and our point is 1 for x, -2 for y. That's it. Easy, right? I knew you were going to say that. Okay, let's do one together. You sure? Okay, try it for 3 minutes. See how much you can finish in 3 minutes. Just try. So remember, this x is the entire this thing. And also remember that thing I told you. If you have one standard form and not one in non-standard, not standard form, you can always solve for y or solve for the variable what's already solved. So if you want, you can solve for x in the second one to see whether you have unique solution or the weird type of solution, infinite or no solution. How about the access? Do you have any access where the y canceled out? No. So if you don't have any variable, you have either no solution or infinite solution. So you have to check which one you have, infinite solution or no solution. How do you know it's no solution? You have to justify yourself. Now let me tell you another trick or rule. I don't know what I should say. Let's do it together. So we're going to do substitution. So we have our 4, but instead of x, we have the entire bad thing. 3/4 y plus 5/2. And then we have minus 3y equals 20. You can see it up to here, right? At least you did this part. So from here, what is our next step? Distribute. So we have 4 of times 3, 4 times 3/4 of y. And then we have plus sign in the middle. And then we have 4 times the second term, which is 5f. Right? Did you distribute? And then we have this negative 3y equals 20. Now remember the thing I told you? When you are multiplying a fraction with a non-fraction, always go for cancellation if possible. So instead of multiplying 4 times 3 divided by 4, we have 4 on the numerator, 4 on the denominator, just cancel. Here we have 4 on the numerator, 2 on the denominator. So 2 goes to 4 how many times? Twice. So that means no more fraction. We have 3y plus, what do you have in the middle? Tan good minus 3y equals 20. And what happens to the y? The die. Exactly. Is 10 and 20 same? So is this true or is this false? False. If you get something false once you modify your equation or substitution, what do you think would be our answer? Infinite solution? No solution. No solution because it doesn't make sense. So false statements means no solution. But sometimes you're going to get the same number on both sides of the equal sign. That means a true statement. True means it's same line. False means it's different line. Okay? Tricky, right? Okay, so I already did this one, so we don't have to do that. Oh man, my word is not working again. Try C. Here. Ready? Renan, what did you do? So you replace this x with this entire thing? Oh, why? Sorry, thank you. So it kept you 3x minus 5, and then it changed the y into the entire 3 over 5x minus 3 equals 15. And then what is the next step? That's the part. So what do you think you should do? This should come first, or this multiplication should first come first? Good. So how are you going to multiply? This is called distribution. So you need to distribute your 5 to both of these terms. So 3x equals minus 5. Our first term is 3 over 5x. And then minus 5. Our second term is negative 3 equals 5. So what do you see? So the first term doesn't have fraction, third term doesn't have fraction. There's only one fraction here, and we hate fraction. We can cancel the 5 on the numerator, 5 on the denominator. So we have 3x from here minus, what's the middle term now? Negative 3x. And then what's the third term now? Positive 15. And we have equals 15. So what do you see? Three x cancel out. We have 15 equals 15. Now, is this true? Is 15 and 15 same number? Of course. So what type of solution we have? Infinite solution. Because this statement is true. True means infinite, false means no. Okay? So you may see one of these in the final exam. Definitely one of these in the in-class exam next week, Thursday. And definitely either with the fraction or with good-looking ones, there will be one with infinite or no solution, and then one will be with real solution, unique solution. So that's what we're going to learn the next method, which is called addition or elimination. It's called elimination because our goal is to eliminate either x or the y from both equations. So in order to do that, we're going to fix their coefficient. We want them to have same number in the front with opposite sign. So that when we add them, the two variables, the two same variable in both equations cancel out. That's why it has another name called elimination, addition method, because to eliminate, we need to add the two equations. So once we cancel one variable, we have the equation left with one variable, solve, and then substitute, just like the previous substitution method. Personally, I like elimination method because it's simpler. So we have x minus 3y equals negative 17, and 3x plus 2y equals 4. So let's say I'm deciding to cancel out my x's because one of the x is free. It doesn't have any coefficient in the front. And the other variable has coefficient in the front. So 3x plus 2y equals 4. We have 3x here. In order to cancel the 3x with the top equation, what number you want to have in front of x here? Negative 3. So you want to have negative 3x here so that I can cancel. But you cannot just randomly put negative 3. What is legal to put negative 3? Multiply everything by negative 3. So this entire equation by -3. So -3 times x is -3x. We are happy. Then -3 times -3y. What do we get? Plus 9y equals -3 times -17. The answer will be positive, right? So if you have no idea what is 17 times 3, no problem. Let's multiply it manually. When you multiply, always start with the right side. What is 7 times 3? 21. So 1 goes on the bottom and 2 goes on the top as an addition. And then you multiply the next number. 3 times 1 is 3, and that plus 2, 5. In other words, 17 times 3 is 51. So you get 51 here. And then we add the two equations. And as you see, the 3x and -3x cancel out. So no more x. How about the y's? How many y's we left with? 11y equals 51 plus 4, 55. And now to solve for y, divide by 11. And we know 11 goes to 55 how many times? 5 times. So that means we have a unique solution. It's not infinite solution, not no solution. We are going to have a real number for our x and y. So we found the real number for y. Now it's time to find the real number for x. Now, between the two equations, the first equation doesn't have any coefficient for the x, so I like to use that. You can use either one of them, it doesn't matter. But to make my life easier, I prefer the first one because it doesn't have any coefficients. So x minus 3y equals -17. We already know our y is 5. So x minus 3 times 5 equals -17. What is -3 times 5? -15. And to get the x alone, what you're going to do now? Add the 15 to both sides of the equal sign. And now you're happy our x is alone. That means we have our solution. -17, but +15. What do you get? -2. So our solution, we need to write as a pair. First, we need to write the x, which is -2, and then the y, which is 5. Ta-da! That's all we have to do. So match one variable coefficient with the same number but opposite sign so that you can add them. Once you add, they get vanished. Work with the other variable. So once you solve the other variable, now we go back to the substitution method. We substitute the value for the other variable to solve for the variable we just canceled. Okay, try this one. Sure. Another one, just direction. Elimination method or addition method. Because what's the coefficient in the second equation? Oh. So we want to have the same number in front of this x with the opposite sign. So you need to multiply by -3. Do the same here, so multiply 3. Yes, okay. But look at the position. Y is not next to the x. Yeah. So you have to bring y next to the x and then move this 15 to the other side. Because x and y should be together. They're friends. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Be careful about the first equation. Do you see anything different in the first equation? I don't know. Other side. So what do you think the first step should be? Bring your y next to the x because they're friends. They don't want to be apart from one another. And then move this 15 to the other side because this is a third wheeler. We don't want that next to between two friends. So switch them around fast and then go for the elimination method. Then your life will be easier. Mm-hmm. Ready? Okay, let me pick my volunteer. Phil. I made your life easier. I gave you the first equation. Now, by observing the second equation, what do you need to multiply the first equation by? By 5. So if you look at the second equation is 3x minus 2y equals 23. So what do you want to get rid of, the x or the y? It's up to you. The y? Sure. So if you want to get rid of the y, they have the opposite sign already is good. That means we just want them to have the same coefficient. So what do you want to multiply the first equation by? What can you multiply this number so that you have to multiply both of them because they're not same. So you have to multiply this by one number and this by another number. So eventually they become the same number. So what can you multiply this 5 by? Maybe 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Can you multiply 2 by some number to get 15? By 2. You have to have the same number after your multiplication. So multiply by 3, you cannot make 2 into 15. But you can multiply this by 2, so you get 10. And you can multiply this 2 by 5, so you get 10. This is another way of doing substitution, not substitution, elimination. You can multiply this entire thing by this 2. And you can multiply second entire thing by this 5. Why? Because we're going to get plus 10y and minus 10y, and then we can easily cancel them. So let's do the math here. So the first equation, after multiplying by 2, we get 2x. And then how many y? 10, positive or negative? Positive 10y equals negative 30. And then the second equation becomes 15x minus 10y. Now you have to do 23 times 5. 5 times 3 is 15, so 5 goes down, 1 goes on the top as an addition. 5 times 3 is 10, plus 1, 11. So 115. One good news is that you can cancel this. Bad news is that we have to do 115 minus 30 and then divided by whatever we have on the other side. And these are big numbers. But no problem, I'm here to help you. What do you get for the x's when you combine them? 17x. And how much is 115 minus 30? 85? So 115 minus 30. 5 minus 0 is 5. That means we have 11 minus 3, which is 8. 85. And now another bad news. When you divide 85 by 17 evenly, we cannot, let's see. How do you decide is you look at the last term and then you see what can you multiply by so that you'll end up getting a 5. So 7 times 2, 14, no. 3, 21, no. 7 times 4 is 28, no. 7 times 5 is 35. So 35 is a 5 at the end. So let's see if you multiply 17 by 5, what do you get? 7 times 5 is 35. We have 5 here. But 3 goes on the top as an addition. And then 5 times 1 is 5. Plus the 3, 8. So it does go evenly. We divide both sides by 17. So we get x equals 5. And then you substitute into one of the equations. It doesn't matter which one. Let me pick the first one. So we have x plus 15 equals negative 5y. And you already know our x is 5. So 5 plus 15 equals negative 5y. And what is 5 plus 15? 5 plus 15, right? 20. 20 equals negative 5y. And then what do you do? Divide by negative 5. So what is our y? Negative 4. So the solution we get, we have to write them as a point. X is 5 and y is negative 4. But you don't have to follow this exact rule. If you want, you can get rid of the excess. Do you get the same result? You do. You're supposed to get the same result. So whichever is easier. Sometimes actually we must do this method because both coefficient will be different in both equations. So that's why it's better to know both methods. Good job. And with this, we are done with elimination method. So we learned all three. Graphing method, which is bad. So don't use graphing method. Instead, solve for y to look at the coefficient for the slope and y-intercept. And then second method is substitution. If you have something without any fraction, or even with the fraction, it doesn't matter. If you substitute, you get false statements, means false, something false doesn't happen, means no solution. And if you get true statement, means you have infinite solution. Besides these three scenarios, when you substitute, you have to have an x value and y value. So you're going to get unique solution as a point format. With this, we are done with 1.4.123. So your homework for 4.123 will be next week, Tuesday midnight. So Thursday, we're not going to meet. We're going to meet again on Friday. So look through the review sheet. If you have any question from the review sheet, we're going to go over that on Friday. And if you don't have any question, then we are going to start 4.5. And you're going to decide whether that should be in the exam or that shouldn't be in the exam. And dealing with PLTL, go over the thingy, review sheet. If you need help with the review sheet, which you don't want to discuss here.
All of them I math lab, right? Both of one of them. I think with the second quiz, I got a 90. I want to redo it. But if
Like 2 attempts.
yes, but my question is like, for example, let's say hopefully that doesn't happen, but
Best grade.
lower grade. But so it was
They take the best one.
okay. Yeah, so I'll just do it again.
Yeah.
But I finished everything. I'll just
Good job. Thank you.
all right. I multiplied it by 3. Distribute. Was I
Your
supposed
power
to
is
do
here.
negative
It's not
3?
45.
But what happened? Because I timed it by 3. But was I supposed to do times by negative 3?
Negative 2, because you have to have the same coefficient with opposite sign. So this negative, negative, and this becomes positive. So when it's positive, you add them and then you can cancel them.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
I'm just curious if you got my email about my jury duty.
Yeah. When is it?
It was on January 30th. I was curious if you got it. Did the PLTO did you get those one?
At the end, I'll have to calculate your grade. So if I know, it's fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just make sure.
For this one, I was gonna ask you. So the 3x for the other problem, we multiplied -3 because they're just the opposite sign.
Okay, that's what I figured. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Thank you.